Welcome to the show where I read one book per week until my brain explodes. Today's book is The Midnight Mass by the GOAT of Brazilian literature, Machado de Assis. If you're in a time of your life when you know you want something, but you don't actually know what it is, or how to even articulate just how lost you are, then you are living this story, a story where nothing happens even though everything could. It is the detailed depiction of an interaction the narrator had with a woman years prior. He was 17 and went to Rio de Janeiro for the midnight mass of Christmas. Her, in her 30s, was the wife of the man whose house the narrator was in. The husband was not home as the narrator waited for the midnight to go pick up his buddy when the wife showed up out of nowhere asking what he was doing up so late, and from there you will slowly realize there's somewhere else the narrator would like to be in. In Portuguese, the story and the mass are called Missa do Galo or Mass of the Rooster, but what the narrator would rather have is a roster. Despite being such a short story, Machado de Assis makes this 40-minute interaction feel like a lifetime. It is never stated, and it is barely even hinted, that there is any sort of sexual tension between the two, but with each description of how she positioned her arms, how her facial expressions would change, or how much closer she got, you can feel the mind of this young man raising. And if you like older women, you will sympathize with this. When she comes closer and rests her elbows on the marble table, her shirt sleeves come down, revealing her forearms, and he tells us, "That image was new to me. In that moment, however, the content I felt was immense. The veins were so blue that despite the lack of clarity, I could count them from where I was." When telling us his most vivid memories of the conversation, he says, "At certain times, her, who looked only charismatic, turned beautiful, turned gorgeous." And even then, the author doesn't feel the need to give you any sort of resolution or to materialize this sexual tension into words. You don't get the sense the narrator is sexualizing the woman, as much as you get the sense of just how paralyzed he is because he doesn't know what to do with himself, which makes this story a reverse 50 Shades of Grey. This story was written in 1893 and it basically invented edging. In the beginning of the story, the narrator states that the husband is a cheater. So as you read, this woman came into the room late at night and struck up a long conversation with the boy. It is easy to imagine her as a wife with an unmet need, but this notion we have of her is debatable. It really feels like it was indeed a completely innocent interaction on her end, but judging by how uninterested she was about the narrator the next day, you could argue that she was disappointed because nothing happened between the two that night. This kind of debate is the whole point of a lot of Machado de Assis stories. He loves unreliable narrators who think they remember the past exactly as it was. This is a story about self-deception, just like Uns Braços, another short story in this week's book. In Uns Braços, once again we have a young man spending some time in the household of a couple where the wife is a target of his desire. This attraction is reciprocated but never acted upon. Well, unless we're talking about the time she kissed him on his sleep. The self-deception here is in the woman trying to push her feelings away and in the young man trying to make sense as to why by the time he was gone, it was as if the woman now hates him. The desire in Uns Abraços is more explicit, but is still constrained, while in A Cartomante, the same tale of three people involved in self-deception, where unmet desire is rationalized through lies and outsourced responsibilities such as fate, superstition, our memory, and societal norms, things end in blood, as the unfaithfulness of the characters does not only materialize in this story, but it also comes with consequences. You could say that each story is a progression and an expansion upon the last one. Although he does not place his stories in a continuous universe, he tackles the same subjects in different ways. His stories are sarcastic and ironic in the sense that it explores how ironically unserious life can be. You can read half of everything he wrote in just 3 to 4 hours, depending on how fast you read. And if you do that, that will be a master class in how to make such simple, mundane scenarios feel so endlessly intriguing. It actually reminds me a lot of Edgar Allan Poe and all his short stories, which also presents very simple scenarios with an interesting occult dark bent to it. It's just that since Machado is Brazilian, instead of darkness, everyone is just horny all the time, which honestly is pretty accurate. You can find a PDF English translation of The Midnight Mass in the description below. Go read it and let me know in the comments what you think of it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you really want to help me, share this video with someone. I will be coming with another book next week, and I will see you soon.
You're a liar!
Stop it. Let's go, Eric. I want to go now.
I'm not going home with you! I'm not!
I don't want to do the damn video anymore.
Leave me alone, I'm taking the bus!